Hey, what's up, people? How's it going? Welcome to Red, your real estate discussion, brought to you by James Alfano, licensed realtor, working for the Lighthouse team with eXp Realty. I wanted to talk to you about buyers and expectations and forms, and I'm only going to base it around an experience I just had. So I have a buyer that is coming from New York and is looking to purchase a property in Connecticut, and really he wasn't expecting all the forms and things to have to go through. So I wanted to just briefly go over them, set some expectations, and just review so people know, okay, right? I don't think it's a common knowledge thing, especially when you're coming from New York. Now, one of the things that we had to do is, between myself and the buyer, we had to do an exclusive right to represent the buyer. Okay. This is just agreeing that, I am his agent. I have fiduciary responsibility to negotiate on his behalf, to look out for his best interest, his or her. I'm just saying this particular person happened to be a he. But yeah, I mean, it's just an agreement to make sure we have that relationship solidified, and it protects everyone involved. That's one of the things. And in this particular case, the listing agent was someone else that was also part of eXp brokerage. So we in my team, we don't encourage dual agency, which is where one agent represents both the seller and the buyer. But we are okay with a designated agency. So, and that's this form. It's just simply acknowledging the seller and the buyer have to acknowledge that, right? And this way, the agent assigned to the buyer is going to represent the buyer. The agent assigned to the seller is going to represent the seller, and it makes it a very fair environment. And things that are not supposed to be known and supposed to be kept confidential. If you have one agent doing both, there's no confidentiality, obviously. It just doesn't work that way. So that was another form. Now coming in, there's provided to me from the listing agent, we had property inclusions and exclusions. So like what is coming with the house, what is not applicable, what is excluded. And the seller has to go through all of this and sign it. Another one, pre-1978, I think including 1978 homes, have to do a lead disclosure statement, okay, and that is to just state the facts about the lead or the potential of lead in the house, because lead-based paint was it was used before 1978, I don't know, exclusively maybe, but it was prevalent. And then we have the residential property condition disclosure, right? So this is again coming from the seller and the seller's agent. And this is going to just disclose some material facts about the property. If there is any mold or water damage, anything in disrepair, anything that's significant and material fact about the property that the seller is aware of, it should be disclosed on this report. Okay, there's a lot of questions. And when it's filled in, the seller and the buyer have to initial it. And these all have to be completed and understood and acknowledged prior to submitting that first offer. Okay, which is an interesting thing. Let me see, did I forget anything? Inclusion? Okay, I think I've gotten everything so far except the actual offer. So once we've acknowledged the dual agency, designated agency, and we've seen all the property disclosures, there's a pamphlet from the state of Connecticut that the buyer has to see about the lead paint. We like to have them initial the last page of that. And then we're ready to actually present the offer to the seller, and that is the standard form contract, where we go over who's the seller, who's the buyer, who are the agents, what is the down payment, the earnest money deposit, and then we could, at that point, submit the offer. Now, the earnest money deposit, to talk about that really quickly, when we submit the offer, we are taking a picture of the earnest money check made out to the agent, and that goes with the offer, so that the seller sees that, the seller's agent sees that. If and when the offer is accepted, we do another earnest money deposit check. We void the first one, and this one then is made to the attorney. Okay. Now, some other brokerages may do it differently, some other teams may do it differently, but this is how we handle it. At the end of the day, one of the most important takeaways from this I'm not going into very, very detailed information about each of the forms, and different circumstances are going to present with different forms. Not everything is going to be exactly the same every time, but we have to abide by the law. Excuse me. It's very important to make sure everything is right, to make sure everything is done properly. We don't want mistakes, we don't want things forgotten, and we don't want anyone getting in trouble or anything being misrepresented. So it's very important. And again, in comparison, if you're a New York resident and you're looking to buy property in Connecticut, this is going to be very foreign to you, and it was foreign to my buyer client. Okay, and it made it a little challenging for him, and I hope that, you know, maybe this video being presented to someone prior to being in the position of presenting the offer, everything is understood ahead of time. All right, listen, I'm sorry I'm not outside recording this. I missed doing that today, but here in my home office. I hope you are all well, having an awesome weekend. This happens to be Sunday night right now. I don't know when you're watching it. Having a great day, whatever the case may be. Thank you very much. Real Estate Discussion, Lighthouse Team, eXp Realty. Have a great night.